What's up guys, I'm bringing you a brand new video here today. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an update system, or a system where it can download basically anything in a file and you can display it in your program. It's going to be really cool, and let's just get right into today's video. So today I'm going to be creating a new project. It's just going to be a Windows form application, and I'm going to call it test for YouTube, and let's get started. So in the form, I'm just gonna set it up because I already know what I'm gonna try to code, but you guys can, for one, you don't have to start a new project. You can actually add this into your application. It's pretty easy to implement, but I'm just gonna add a simple let's see, picture box. Picture. There we go. And let's just make it kind of the same size. So let's just do 100 by 100. And then I'm gonna do a label. And let's make that a little bit bigger. So label 1, and now I just copied and pasted a new label, and we'll make that 15. Or actually, let's create a text box. And let's change it to multi-line, and their form border style, let's change it to a fixed single. Let's change this to a no border. Okay. Now I want to change this to white. I'm just gonna put some text in there just so I can know where it's at. So I can just click here. This will also be null. And I think I changed something, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I changed this. No. I don't believe that should be on. Now this should be zoom. So let's get right into the tutorial. So I just set up my form, and so we're gonna have a picture, a title, and a description, or like a text box for like a description of an item or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna be basically downloading a file that contains the contents that I'm gonna be putting in my program, and then within that file I can upload it and change it whenever I want, so it can display new content in your program, if that makes sense. So I set up my form, and now I have to set up some settings so I can store the data. So let's call this pic 1, title 1, and text 1. So these are going to correspond to the picture, the title, and the text. So pic, title, and text, they're all going to be strings, and this doesn't really matter. And the value is going to be set to nothing for right now. And the second thing that you need to do after you finish up your form and the settings, you want to go to Tools, Nugget Manager, and Package Manage Console. And then it's going to load up this down here, and after it's done initializing, as you guys can see down here, click on Tools, Package Manager again, and then click on Manage Nugget Packages for Solution. This will load up another window, and you click on Browse, and we're actually going to type in Mad Milk Man. Yeah, and we want this one. We're going to be using the ini file. This thing is so cool, and just install it to your program. Just check your program that you want it to be installed in, and that's it. You just have to close it. Now if for some odd reason it doesn't add it to your references, like right here, go into your project folder, and you'll find it under packages. So, and you can just add it manually from there. So then the third thing you need to do is basically code your program. But before we do that, let's create an ini file so we have something to load into our program. I'm going to create a text file, and I'm just going to call it, let's see, test, I don't know. Let's just call it ABC, I don't know. And just double click it, and then click File, Save As, and then change the format to all and type in ini. And then now we can just delete that. Let me come over here and drag it over because it's appeared on my other screen. So we want a file that looks like this with a gear in the file, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna open this up with Notepad++. So here it is over here. I believe this is already big. Okay, there we go. And the syntax for these ini files is basically like any other ini file. You can type whatever you want, and it's not going to read it unless it's underneath a bracket or unless you're specifically searching for that string. So this is a section, so we can say, you know, section 1, or we can also, whoops, we can also call this I like games, and we can use this and search it into our program. But for this example, I'm just going to call this item 1 because we are basically loading up like an advertisement, as you could say. So we're going to add a picture, a title, and a description. So the first thing with making this file is creating the section, and then now we're going to create a variable, and then we can just call it you know, name, and then so that then, or actually you can call it whatever you want, but it's gonna make sense if I call this title, or title, description, and image. So let's go back into here, and I'll call this image equals title equals, and then text equals. So I'm gonna get an image from my FileZilla on my server, and you were not supposed to see that, sorry. But let's log into my server and go to DL test for YouTube, and I've already tried this to make sure I'm making a video that actually is going to work, because what's the use of trying to make a video if I'm trying to show you something and it doesn't work. But we're going to get this file, we're going to click copy URL, and this is where we're also going to be uploading the ini file. So if you guys want to see, this is what the other one looks like, and that was kind of loud, but I basically called it item 1, title, text, and pic, and yeah, that's basically what our file is going to be looking like. But I'm going to close this and put in the image there, and instead of this Dominion Studios like that, we're going to call it HTTP, just like that. So that's where the file is at. Now if I hit control, or actually that doesn't work in this program, title, let's call it you know, download now, and then get Windows 10 today, get the next, so yeah, let's just do that, and then we can also, you know, do gibberish, you know, yeah, and then I'm gonna save this, and I'm also gonna be doing formatting to say this is a store item file. So that just basically tells me that this is a store item file, and this is for my, you know, what I want it to be called. You can put whatever you want. This is basically a description of what this is. So this is going to be an item, and inside our program, this is a store item. You know, I'm just making this up. It's not going to be like a real program, but I'm just imagine what I'm trying to say to you guys. So hopefully this is making sense. I'm going to save this. I'm actually going to close it now, and I'm going to go back to my FileZilla, and here is my file. It's called abc.ne. I'm going to upload it, and that was kind of loud in my ears. Hopefully it's okay for you guys. It's just an alert for my thing saying that it's been uploaded, but it's right here. I'm going to actually copy the URL to clipboard so I have it. And I'm going to double click in here and comment out the link so I can have it. Whoops. HTTP semicolon. Okay, here's the link, so I have where the any file is. Okay, let's get into the coding part. So we have all the steps set up. We have the settings to store our information when we download it from the file. Then we have our form set up, and we have our any file set up and already written, and it's on my website, so I can just, you know, download it right away. So let's go into the folder, or not folder, sorry guys, I was thinking FileZilla, but let's go into the code and let's type in public sub download config. So this is going to be our configuration on downloading the file, and then public sub, let's call it load config. So basically we can call these to download, and then let's do a threading.thread.sleep, and let's put it to sleep for 2 seconds so it has time to finish before it starts again. And let's actually rename these so we know what they are. Let's call this pick 1, title 1, text 1. So text 1, title 1, and pick 1. So we're gonna do pick, or actually title 1 dot text equals my dot settings dot title 1 dot toString, and then text 1 dot text equals my dot settings dot text 1 dot toString. And then for the picture, we're gonna have to do something a little fancy. It's not really too fancy, but this is how you can download a picture as a string and then make it appear in the whatchamacallit, in the picture box. So new system dot drawing, I think it's bitmap, and then new io dot memory stream, I believe, memory stream. And then we have to do another new system dot net dot web client dot download data my dot settings dot pick 1 dot toString. And there we go. It'll download that picture from a string and put it into the picture box. And then let's also make sure that the picture box, well, we already set it from here, clicking on this and then changing it to zoom. but just to be sure, let's change it to zoom. Whoops. Let's just change it to be zoom just to be sure. Okay, so this is going to load everything. So right when we launch it, it's going to download the file. It's going to stop for 2 seconds so it can finish downloading. It's going to load the configuration, and then it's going to grab all the information from my.settings. Now in here we want to download the file. So we're going to do a try statement. If file dot exists. Why is it doing okay. I forgot about the imports, guys, so let's do that now. Let's import system.io, system.net, and then we also have to import madmilkman and madmilkman.ini. So import all that stuff so we can, can continue coding. I forgot because I have to import system.io. That should be an IO. It doesn't matter, but I like stuff to be neat, I guess. So let's continue on. So if file dot exists, and we have to also do a few more things. You guys can put in full paths, but I'm gonna do some variable stuff here. So dim start path as string equal to application dot start path. And then it was called abc.ne. Then why is that an error? Oh, I forgot I don't know why I put a semicolon, or not semicolon, excuse me. So let's go into here. Let me open up my documents, my Visual Studio projects, test for YouTube. Okay, in here, see, I didn't have it on their screen, sorry guys. In packages, madmilkman, library, and net20, if it doesn't load the DLL, you can do it from there. So let's go into here, bin, and let's change this to release, because I like to work with just the release right away. Let's rebuild so we have the project. And then inside here, that's what we're doing. We're creating a folder. We're not creating one, but we want to create one so we can check, because start path equals application.startup path. So wherever this is going to be stored, it's going to gather the path where the application started, and then now we're finding data and then abc.ne. So let's go into here and create a new folder and call it data. And then inside here, this is where the ini file will appear. So we'll keep this open right here and continue coding. And then once we find that it exists, we're going to say file.delete, because we want a brand new one every time we open up the program, if that makes sense, because we don't want to keep on loading the same thing over again, because there might be something new. abc.ne. And then we're also going to do my.computer.download, or my.computer.network.download file. And then inside here we're going to gather this string so we can download the ini. And then we're going to do we're going to download it to this path so we have it in that folder again. And we're going to be saving it as abc.ini again, or whatever you want to call it. And then we're also going to do false and a timeout of 3 seconds. So if it doesn't start downloading the file in 3 seconds, it'll just not complete. And then else my.computer. So it's basically the same thing. I don't have to retype it. I can just copy and paste that. So basically what this is doing, it's going to download the configuration. That's why we called it download config. It's going to try to see if the file exists in this path. If it does, we're going to delete it and re-download the new one. If it does not exist, it'll skip these 2 lines and go to here and download the file right away. And that's pretty much it. We're going to do a message box.show and then ex.message and then also a title saying error. Just so if there is an error, we can see what it is. Now in the load configuration, this is where the Mad Milkman's any DLL comes in place. Now this is pretty simple on how to use it, so I'm just gonna dim any as new any as new any file, and then I'm gonna dim title 1 as string, dim text 1 as string, and then also let's dim pick 1 as string. And then inside here we're also going to do some resets of our settings. So my.setting dot title 1 equals nothing, my.settings dot text 1 equals nothing, and then my.settings dot pick 1 equals nothing. So when we load the configuration, we want to make sure that the settings is clear, because yeah, I just do it that way just to make sure that what I'm going to be putting into the settings is the new file. And then now we're going to do a try statement, and we're going to do any dot load, and then we can use the start path and sorry guys, start path, and then import the file abc.any. So we can use start path wherever we declared it. So we declared it outside of all the things, so we just declared it in the form public class form 1. So we can use it in form load, any type of sub that we create, or whatever other sub, you can use it wherever. So I'm going to be using start path and then loading that file. Now the next thing we'd have to do is say title 1 equals any dot sections, and then for the section we named it item 1, I believe. Let's go back into our one file, right into here. Let's edit, and yes, we called it item 1. So we go back into here. Okay, we loaded item 1, and then dot keys, so we're trying to find a key, and we're going to call it, or we're not going to call it, we're finding title 1, and make sure it is case sensitive, so it is capitalized. So we're going to go and switch this to title 1 and then item 1, make sure that's capitalized. Okay, and then dot value dot toString, and then we're going to say my dot, I keep on mistyping, sorry guys, my dot settings dot title 1, right? Yeah, title 1 equals title 1, and then we go on to the next thing, which is going to be the text. So we say text1 equals any dot sections dot, or sorry, parentheses that item1 dot key, and then text1 dot value dot toString, and then my dot settings dot text1 equals text1. And then same thing with the picture, which I'll do in just a second. I just got to check text. Okay, make sure that is correct. It is capitalized, so that's good. And then pick1 equals any dot sections item1. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just gathering the information out of the file. So pick1, is that what it's called? It's called image. So yeah, be careful when you're trying to search for stuff inside that file. Is it image1 or just, yeah, it's just image. And did I do that wrong for all of those? Yes, I did. So let's erase the one after these, because for the key, it's just called image, title, and text. So don't get confused with that, because I just did with the to the settings, my dot settings dot save. So this is what we did, guys. Sorry for all the background noise. I'm wearing a headset, so I can't really tell if something's loud or not. So I'm sorry about that. So let me explain this. So we're downloading a file with this sub that we created. We're gonna try to see if the file exists. If it does, we're gonna delete it and re-download the next new one on the server. And if none of that exists, we're just gonna download a file. So right now it's just gonna skip through this stuff because the file is not there right now. It's not in the directory. So it's gonna download the file, and if it has an error, it'll tell us. And then the next thing, see how we have that, the very first thing. So it's gonna wait 2 seconds, and then it's gonna load. We declared a new any file. We declared a title, text1, pick1, and we reset our settings so it's all blank. And then we're going to try to load the ini file and assign the string from a key from inside the ini file, and we're going to save it to our settings, which we did. We loaded the file, gathered the key, and saved it as a setting. And then the next thing we did was say title1 equals my dot settings is title1, and so on and so forth. So when I run this, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it should. So let's click start. And if we have an error, okay, we did not have an error. It started on another screen, and this is what it looks like. So it got the picture, it got our title, and then it got the text box, and there we go. For an example of, let's say you want to update a new story or a store item or whatever you want to do, you can go back to your FileZilla or re-upload a new one, click view and edit, and then I'm going to keep the image the same just because I don't have another image on hand to upload right away. But I'll change the title to get this awesome program now. I don't know. And then I'm gonna say get the next great program from Dominion Studios. So when I close this, it'll save. I'm going to re-upload it. Go back into my program. I'm just going to click start. It's going to delete that old one and re-download a new one. and it should say right here, get this awesome program. And I can't, okay, there we go. So it kind of ran off the screen, so you're gonna have to do some formatting and make sure in the area that you're doing the title, you don't want to make it run off the form. But yeah, I hope you guys get the idea. You can import an image, make a title, a description, and you can have unlimited amount of stuff for your file. So yeah, you can have item 1 and then have more stuff like you know, version number, and you know, location of where this is, just a bunch of more variables. And then on top of that you can add, you know, item 2, and then, you know, continue on down, and then you can have like item 400. You can keep on going with all this, and it downloads it in a single file, having all this information. And if you just guys go through the video again, I know it's been a long video, but just copy and paste the same thing over and over again. Once you get one item done and programmed in, it's very simple, and you can, you know, import a lot of stuff into your program and display stuff for your users. If you like this video, it would be awesome if you actually like it and subscribe to my channel. But yeah, it's pretty basic, and I know it's been a really long video, but I was trying to explain it for newer guys as well. And yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be hard for new people. It was pretty simple for me. And remember guys, I'm all self-taught in programming, so if I can do it, you guys can do it. But yeah, it's pretty simple, and I really like this, and I'm gonna be doing this with all my other programs. I've done it with a few of my programs, and I'm definitely doing it with the new programs that I'm going to be working on. But yeah, there's definitely better ways to create an update system and all this other stuff on how to you know, download a file and do this. It's kind of basic, but it gets the job done, and it's very easy to do. But again guys, if you like the video, please like it, and if you like any of my content on my channel, please subscribe, and I'll be bringing out some more videos soon, and I'll see you guys later in another video. Peace.